Hello, and thank you for your interest in our ChartVerify documentation audit tool. In this demo, I will walk you through the software, how to start an audit, how to save and score an audit, and how to pull a report. To start, let's review the landing page for ChartVerify. At the top, there are 4 action buttons: Start, Company, Audit, and Report. The ChartVerify audit tool is very user-friendly and is easy to navigate. Depending on the access of the user, on this landing page, you can reset your password and manage the company. So now, let's view the company screen. I am logged in under a demo account, but if you were logged into your account, you would only see your company name here. When you click Manage, it'll open this screen and show the company breakdown of persons, locations, regions, and projects. Projects is not applicable to you, so we will ignore that column for now. Under the column Persons, you will see a list of people that will have access to log into your account or are listed to be audited. When setting up a person, there are different roles and access. They could be a therapist, which means you are performing an audit against them. They could be an auditor that might not necessarily be a therapist, but are just someone that logs in and runs an audit. A user can have report access, which means they could pull any kind of report in the company, or a person could be set up as a company administrator. LW Consulting Inc. can set up the company account and add all of the users on the back end. If your company has more than one location, we can set up each location in your company account that will show in this locations column. When completing an audit, this will allow you to select any of the locations that are included in this column. The tool also has the capability to include regions. If you have locations that are broken up by regions, we can include this information, which could be beneficial when running reports. We can also set up a region that is all locations to assist with running the reports and providing a complete overview when needed. Next, we will review the audit screen. This is where the auditors will complete their work. Here you will see audits listed that have been started and scored. It provides a quick summary. It is important to note that if you start an audit, you do not have to complete it in one sitting. You can save and come back to it, and this is where you would find that audit that you started. You can click Continue, and it'll take you back to where you left off. To start a new audit, you will select this New Audit option here in the top left under Quick Methods. This will take you to the audit setup screen. This is before the actual audit. It gathers the demographic information of the chart you are auditing. It is important to note that to keep the tool as secure as possible, there is no PHI entered into ChartVerify. After you set up the audit, it'll create a unique ChartVerify ID number, which you will want to tie to the chart that you are auditing. So, to set up your audit, you will select the company, the location, the audit type, the therapist, which will populate depending on the location selected, the patient type, therapy type, service site, service state, number of visits, which is an open-ended text box that you will enter how many visits were in this case and the date range. The date range will automatically place it in an audit quarter placement, which ties to the reports. Reports are pulled on a quarterly basis. It will default to the most recent quarter it falls into. There are some companies and their compliance program that have their audit set up to complete an X amount of audits in each quarter. If you are an auditor and you need to complete 10 audits for Q4 and you choose this chart, you can push it back to Q4. You can manually push it back 1 quarter if it falls into your compliance guidelines for your auditing procedures. Underneath that, there is an audit period month placement that automatically defaults based on the discharge date, but can also be pushed back if needed. Audit period is the year. Federally funded is if there is a federally funded insurance program that we are auditing. And you will select the insurance type under the insurance type dropdown. And again, project is not applicable. Once we have all of the audit setup questions answered, we are going to save and start the audit. This will then take us to the audit questions. At the top, you will see this green banner that will show the audit setup is complete. This way, if you need to exit the audit, it'll save for you so you can continue when you come back. It'll also show the audit ID number. This is the number you will want to tie back to the chart you are auditing. How you maintain this information is up to you, whether it is an Excel sheet you keep offsite or another process your company develops. The ChartVerify audit tool is set up with 13 sections and about 55 questions total. These questions are a series of drop-downs of mostly yes or no answers, but do have some questions that the option can be the information provided is limited. This would not be a true yes, but not a no, or not enough information to give full credit or ding the person. We are going to start with the first section, subjective. Here are the drop-downs with yes and no, and some with the information is limited. You as the auditor are going to go through and answer all of the questions. At the end of each section, you will see an open-ended text box. This is where you're going to type any notes as an auditor. We suggest adding as much as you can so that the auditor doesn't have to remember any highlights, good or bad, or risk areas, and don't have to keep a separate log or write them down. When everything is typed in the section notes and saved, when the audit is complete, all of those notes will be carried over into the report when it is pulled. As you toggle down and answer the questions, you will see that some of the questions have some helpful hints on what the question means that can help in addition to discussing or clarifying with your manager. I'm going to show you really quick and answer a couple questions. If you start an audit and answer the first couple of questions, but have to stop because a patient came and you need to stop the audit, don't just exit out of the audit. Scroll all the way down to where the action buttons are. You'll want to select Save for later. You will select Save and Review when you are done with the audit and want to review all of the audit answers before you score the audit. So I'm going to go ahead and select Save for later and show you what it does. Say I am planning to come back to this audit later. I click Save for later. It'll bring you back to this audit screen here. If you look for the audit that you saved, you will find it at the top of your list of audits. You can see the audit information with the location, the auditee, auditor, audit types, and the date it was created. When you confirm that is the correct audit, you can click Continue here on the right and pick up right where you left off. This is important because it'll save you time and frustration if you remember to scroll down to the bottom and click Save before exiting out. When you're done answering all of the audit questions, you will hit Save and Review. It'll then pull up an audit summary that includes every question and how the auditor answered each question. You can review to double check all of the questions were answered correctly. Once you verify that all of the answers are correct, you can scroll to the bottom and there will be an action button at the bottom that says Score Audit. When you select that, it is going to score and lock the audit and will give you a compliance percentage. When this is selected, no one in the company can go back in and make any changes. LW Consulting Inc. would have to go in and unlock the audit. This is for compliance reasons and to prevent any bad actors from going in and locking or unlocking and making changes. After receiving a request, LW Consulting Inc. will go in and unlock any audits within 24 hours, and we do keep a log. After we unlock the audit, we will reach out via email and confirm that it is unlocked. This is why it is important to review the questions before scoring, but it's not a big deal if LW Consulting Inc. has to unlock an audit. In addition to the continue option on the audit, there's also a setup option that can be used to change any of the audit setup, such as changing the location or the therapist if the wrong one was selected. After making any changes, just make sure to select the Update the Audit Setup button, and it will make those changes. Again, changes can only be made until the audit is scored. And then once it is scored, the audit is locked and no changes can be made unless LW Consulting Inc. unlocks the audit. This summary here on the audit screen is where you will find all started and saved audits, summaries, or completed audits. There are filters here that you can use when looking for a specific audit or looking for all the completed audits, etc. So now let's go to the reporting screen. It may look daunting, but know that you do not have to choose all of these filters to start a report. These blue buttons here at the bottom will show you the types of reports that you can export. When you hover over these buttons, it'll show you the filters that are required for pulling a report. When a report is exported, it is exported as a Microsoft Word document that can be edited. There are some sections that a company administrator or auditor can use to add strengths or weaknesses of the audit or action or training areas. Let's review each of the report types. A corporate report is an overall snapshot of the company as a whole. It will give a percentage of the company and then a breakdown of each location. A facility report is the most popular report used. This is a location report. This will show the scores of the therapists that are listed under the location and will pull over any audit feedback. Region, therapist, payer, and discipline are pretty self-explanatory. Therapists would be used if you just want to pull the report on one therapist. Payer if you want to pull Medicare audits. Discipline if you want to pull just physical therapy or occupational therapy audits. Again, if you aren't sure the requirements for pulling each of these reports, you can hover over the button to see what the requirements are to pull the report. Let's go ahead and pull a facility report. If you hover over the facility, you see that I need to fill out our company and locations. So let me select a company and location. And then other typical filters is audit quarter and audit year. So I'm going to select that as well. Then I'm going to select facility to generate the report. It only takes a few seconds to generate the report. I'm going to open this report and you can see it has the company name. In this case, it is the LWCI demo company, the location, and the quarter and timestamp of the date that you pulled the report. If you scroll down, you will see the location and the compliance rates based on the chart audits. This is why the quarter placements are important. When a report is pulled, it places it in quarters so you can see if you are doing the right things or if there are areas of training that you need. Then under location, you will see the therapists that are associated with each location. When you scroll down to the next page, you will see it digs in a little bit deeper. On this page, it breaks down the scores by section. This is where you will see where the specific location or therapist needs improvement or if either achieved improvement. Anything under 80% will appear as red to show recommendation areas of improvement. On the next page, these sections are for internal use only. ChartVerify will not generate anything. As previously mentioned, these sections can be used to list strengths and weaknesses or action areas. You can use it or take it out, but know that this page is completely customizable for you. On the next page, it'll list the top 10 questions missed in the quarter that you are polling for. You can use this to review the questions with your team or an individual therapist if needed. The next page will show all individual audit results within the quarter you are pulling results for. It'll pull over all the section comments and results. It'll include all therapists that were audited in that quarter and all of the audits that were completed for each of those therapists. Again, this page is customizable, so say you want to reword a comment or there is a typo. Those changes can be made here. Okay, so now let's go back to the reports to wrap up. There is one thing you are going to want to make sure you do. You will need to make sure you select the company at the top, even if you only have one company. If this isn't selected, you will not be able to pull a report. So to wrap up, we do offer a free 2-week trial that you can use to go in and test the tool out yourself and get a feel for how it works. When setting up the free trial, we will also send a quick start guide that lists the steps needed when starting an audit and pulling a report. If you have any questions or would like a free 2-week trial of ChartVerify, please email me at the email listed on the screen. Thanks again for your interest in ChartVerify and have a great day.